Terrell here, back again with another review from Tribeca Film Fest of 2023. 2023 has been quite the year for movies. This time with Blood for Dust, starring Scoot McNairy and Kit Harington, both playing their roles as Cliff and Ricky. Oh man, this is definitely so far got to be one of my favorite films on the film festival so far that I've seen. Quite a just I want to say I don't want to use the word like dark thriller here or whatever. Like it's I feel like it falls in so many different categories of movie. But let me just give you like kind of the basic concept here. Cliff is a traveling salesman. He's trying to provide from his family. Living the American dream. This is set place. I want to say like either 80s or 90s. And they find themselves dealing with a situation where they're going around trying to they're selling stuff, but they're also they're running the long game. They're doing a whole con, and then that goes sideways. And then Cliff winds up running into Ricky, played by Kit Harington, who has a job for him that is supposed to be supposed to be lucrative, bringing in some money. Let's just say like you have any idea of like how you think this movie is going to go, and then it goes completely left. I mean, the first couple of minutes of the movie itself, you're like, oh, okay, this is how we're starting the movie. It's just I didn't watch any trailers. I just jumped right into it. I didn't know where it was going to be, where it was going to go. But yeah, I mean, like the movie, you got Cliff here. He's trying to do. Played by Scoot McNairy, he's trying to do what he needs to do to make sure his family eats every day, and that job for him is going around selling defibrillators and trying to make money. So he's driving up and down the coast, going to different places trying to sell this thing off. His job, so he's barely on the road while dealing with the past of a previous situation that's been following him from pretty much wherever he goes. So he's struggling to get through that. Dealing with this kind of double life that he's having where, if, pretty much believing the lie of like what he has going on and trying to maintain his sanity while being on the road by himself and his wife's at home, XYZ. Until, Ricky comes into his life and just turns it sideways. Sometimes when something's too good to be true, sometimes you gotta trust your gut and just leave that alone. This is probably some of the best acting I've seen from Kit since I don't want to say Game of Thrones as an example, but that's like the last thing. He's been in other things, but this is probably the first time you really get to see more of a range of his acting, because he plays a crazy person. One of those like the tension is high. You don't know what they're gonna do. They got a gun. You don't know what the reaction is gonna be. You think they're cool, but they can go left on you at any minute. He does an amazing job in this movie. Probably, like, if anything, the standout of the movie for me. Josh Lucas is also in this movie. He's playing John. He has some scenes in the movie where he's definitely the crazy drug guy, drug kingpin. But he does a good job. But I think Kit definitely steals the movie. Even though the movie is mainly around Cliff and Ricky and like kind of the exploits of what they're doing, I think they do a really good job of making sure everybody gets enough time. But your main character here is Cliff, as he's trying to kind of figure this out and figure out a better way to go living life. They trying to live the American dream by making a little bit of money and selling stuff to people that they absolutely know they don't need. But it's just how it is. You get a lot of you see a lot of Cliff in this movie where they really want to show the gentle side, like the human side of Cliff, and he's not just this liar going around town scamming, but he does have the necessity for why he needs to do what he does. And you get a lot of, you really feel for Cliff in the movie, like he has a lot of scenes, but then you're like, okay, he's trying to take grandma's pension by selling the stuff that they absolutely don't need. And like I said, the movie follows a lot of his life and as you get they learn a lot of what he's doing. But then, like I said, Kit, Ricky comes in the scene and it's just like, oh man, Tension levels are high here. A lot of, like I said, acting phenomenal. I can't even. I mean, this is what the film festival is all about. I mean, if you don't got this level of acting in your movie, then I don't want it, right? Like, but no, like I said, I think this is definitely one of my contenders. Out of so many movies that's going to be a part of this festival, this is definitely going to be like one of my favorites so far. Like I said, I had a good time with it. It was a quick watch, like an hour and 40 minutes. Directed by Rod Blackhurst. Did an amazing job. Really, not too much anything bad to say about the movie. It's pretty much set, and I feel like I missed the setting for where it was. Where it was a lot of snow, so you get a lot of snow scenes. Like they're just kind of just walking through the snow. There's a lot of action, more than what I expected for this movie to be, because I thought this was going to be like a nice, quiet, good time, and it completely went left as quickly as it started. The actor who is from My Name Is Earl is in this. Let me get his name. Ethan Suplee. He's playing Slim in this movie, and even his performance in here, where you get him in here, he does this thing. I'm starting to see him a lot more. Now he's like the slim buff version of himself. I'm starting to see him a lot more in movies. He's gotten away from like the role of playing like the big stupid guy. Now he's just like the big muscle guy in every movie. But he comes in and does this thing. Like you said, he doesn't get as much screen time as Kit and Stefan. Sorry, Scoot. But like he definitely comes in and leaves an impact in the movie. And like I said, I mean, this movie's supposed to drop. Let me get this date right. This movie's supposed to drop on Sunday, June 11th. So if you are watching the film festival, this is going to be premiering there. I had the opportunity as being, press a part of the film festival to be able to watch this for Tribeca 2023. And like I said, it's definitely one of the best movies. If anything, like I said, if you're gonna watch anything, I would definitely put this on your list first. It's 100% worth the watch. The cast is amazing. I don't think you're gonna expect anything that's happening in this movie to happen. And like I said, I mean, like they get the tone of the movie right. The music is completely right. Like I said, it keeps you on edge. A lot of like some of the flashbacks in the movie, you just like kind of trying to figure out like where you are sometimes, but it's not too often where it's jarring. You're like, okay, what's going on? But they do bring you back to where you need to be, without it being confusing. Like I said, Blood for Dust, 2023, a part of Tribeca. I definitely do recommend. Like I said, putting this on your list. Just if you like that feeling of kind of being on edge, and like I said, not knowing what's going to happen, and just that tight gripping, like you kind of feel in your stomach, like, oh man, please, this is that movie. Like I said, I had a really great time watching it. I'm actually sitting here thinking about watching it again, but it was definitely worth the time, worth the experience. Scoot, I really haven't seen in too many other movies, other than this. This is probably my first time seeing him, so I really don't have any reference. But let me just make sure I'm not going crazy before I see it. But it looks like the last thing he was in, he was like Argo. He was in Invincible and a couple other things. So he's had quite a career here. But I think this is going to be the movie for sure that really puts him like on the map here. I mean, he was already there. He was already getting some credentials. But this is going to be the movie that definitely puts him on the map for you to like really pay attention to him. So I really hope that he gets what he really gets some discovery here. Kit, on the other hand, I mean, he's had obviously you've seen him in Pompeii. We're not gonna talk about that. And he's been in other movies. He's recently been in HBO industry. But he's had quite the credentials here. Game of Thrones really put him on the map, so it's not really too much. I'm not too worried about him, but I'm really surprised the level of insanity he brought to this role. I'm really surprised. Like I was not thinking about Jon Snow the entire time I watched about this, even though they were in the snow. But I wasn't thinking about Jon Snow the entire time I watched this movie. It was a really good time. Like I said, just keep in mind this is quite the thriller, drama movie where you don't know what's going to happen, where it's coming from. Just know bullets is going to be flying, and like the title says, blood's going to be spilled, blood for dust. I don't want to spoil too much for you guys. Like I said, hour 40 minutes, going to be premiering at Tribeca on June 11th, 2023 during the film festival. Please check it out. Let them know Terrell told you this movie was good. And like I said, I do want to watch it again and share it with the friends. But like I said, definitely top of my list for the film festival. Check it out. And I'll see you guys for another Tribeca film review. Thank you.
Big gold bell.